Next week on Home and Away in the UK, as the River Boys stop Theo and Sonny from testifying, Lacey makes a monumental decision. Gage is currently awaiting trial for a brutal attack on Theo, which saw him crushed under his own car after Gage discovered Theo had been having an affair with his girlfriend Lacey. It was only thanks to Sonny's intervention that Theo survived, though Sonny himself was left battered after a run-in with one of Gage's heavies, Spanner. Lacey agreed to testify against Gage, and was placed under police protection in a safe house, whilst Theo was given a police guard at his hospital bed following his own statement. Sonny, who was testifying against Spanner, was put up in a motel by Remy with hired personal security. During his isolation, Sonny grew close to Dana, while Theo was left devastated after Lacey called him from the safe house to end things for both their safety. Furious, Theo turned on Leah, who had previously warned Lacey away from her nephew, blaming her for interfering, and subsequently decided that he wouldn't return home to her and Justin. On his discharge from hospital, Theo moved into the Pier apartment with Sonny on Bree's suggestion, where they could both be protected by the hired security. In a surprising twist, Lacey later turned up at the apartment, revealing she was no longer testifying. Believing she was now safe from the River Boys, she had walked out of the safe house. What she didn't realize was that she was already being staked out by members of the gang, who had followed her back to Summer Bay, and right to Theo and Sonny's door. After observing Sonny meeting Dana at the beach, which passed the accompanying bodyguard by completely, River Boy Diesel, Harrison Pierce, approached Dana at Salt and told her that her boyfriend better keep his mouth shut. The next morning, Theo, Lacey, Dana and Sonny all piled into a people carrier flanked by the bodyguards in order to head to Reefton Lakes Courthouse. But as they drove off, no one spotted the River Boys tailing them, with Diesel having been given orders to make sure no one testifies. Next week, as the group make their way to court, their vehicle is suddenly brought to a halt by a fallen branch blocking the road. The bodyguards step out to clear the path, but Lacey immediately senses something is wrong. Her instincts prove right. From the surrounding bushland, a swarm of masked River Boys emerge and surround the vehicle. Sonny, Theo, Lacey and Dana are helpless as they watch the gang swiftly overpower their guards with a brutal beating. Sonny jumps into the driver's seat, but the River Boys are one step ahead, as another vehicle pulls up behind to block their only escape route. Approaching the car, the gang wastes no time in reminding them of their threat. They warned them not to talk. Ordering Lacey and Dana out of the vehicle, the gang commandeer it and drive away with Sonny and Theo inside. Diesel removes Dana's phone from her, but Lacey claims that she doesn't have one, since the police took it away when she was in the safe house. With that, the girls are left stranded in the middle of the nowhere as the River Boys take off. Dana and Lacey begin the long walk back towards town, managing to raise the alarm along their way. Cash heads straight out to meet them, with Tane not far behind. As Cash asks the girls if they know which way the River Boys went with Theo and Sonny, Lacey reveals that she actually hid her phone in the people carrier before she was booted out, meaning they should be able to track their location. Back at the police station, Cash receives some concerning news. Despite the ambush, the court has decided not to postpone proceedings. Gage's trial will go ahead without Theo and Sonny, relying solely on their written statements. Both Cash and Lacey know that their absence could cost the prosecution everything. Out in the bush, abashed Theo comes to and finds that he and Sonny are stranded in an isolated spot, with no idea where they are. Theo is still in significant pain from his surgery, and the pair are forced to ration water while they wait for rescue. Sonny manages to find some painkillers for Theo, but the reality is setting in. They may be on their own for some time. Meanwhile, Cash learns that a further appeal to the magistrate has failed and they are still going ahead with the trial. Knowing that it could be their only chance of Gage facing justice, Lacey makes a monumental decision. She wants to testify. When they return from court, Cash is cautiously optimistic. But for Lacey, the focus is elsewhere. If Gage is found guilty and the River Boys still have Theo and Sonny, she's certain they'll retaliate, and she knows exactly how far they're willing to go. Leah and Justin soon arrive at the station, desperate for answers. Emotions quickly run high when Leah turns her anger on Lacey, blaming her for Theo's disappearance and accusing her of putting him in further danger. Lacey does her best to stay composed, but the pressure in the room is palpable. Cash attempts to defuse the situation, urging Leah to calm down, but when she refuses to back off, he's left with no choice but to ask her to leave. With the case already hanging by a thread, the last thing anyone needs is more chaos. At that moment, the news comes through. Gage has been convicted. But it's hardly a cause for celebration. With the verdict now official, the River Boys have even more motivation to eliminate the witnesses who put Gage away. Cash and Lacey know the clock is ticking. Out in the bush, Theo's in a bad way and bleeding from his wounds. When Sonny discovers the phone that Lacey stashed away, he quickly heads off in search of a signal, leaving Theo behind. He finally manages to get a call out, giving police their best shot at locating them. But they're already running out of time. The River Boys are on their way back, unhappy over the outcome of the trial and determined to make them pay. Having received Sonny's call and realizing time is critical, Cash immediately sets off. Tane insists on coming with him, refusing to let Cash face the River Boys alone, and Cash doesn't have time to argue. Returning to the vehicle, Sonny's horrified to spy the River Boys holding Theo, preparing to target his previous wounds. As Diesel yells out for Sonny to show himself, he punches Theo in the stomach. Sonny doesn't hesitate. Knowing Theo won't survive another beating, he steps out of hiding and surrenders himself. With Sonny and Theo outnumbered, will Cash and Tane be able to track them down in time?